When you see them, you know. It's a look that's been baked into our culture, a uniform of rebellion that speaks without saying a word. I'm talking about the members of an outlaw motorcycle club. They're clad in worn leather jackets, often called cuts or cooties, adorned with intricate patches that tell a story of allegiance and rank. These aren't just fashion statements. They're resumes written in thread, earned through time, loyalty, and sometimes through trials you and I can only imagine. The sunglasses they wear aren't just for the sun. They create a barrier, a shield of anonymity that adds to the mystique and intimidation. It's a purposeful look, designed to set them apart from the rest of the world. Beneath the leather, you'll often find a canvas of tattoos, each piece of ink a chapter in a personal history. These aren't the trendy designs you might see walking out of a modern parlor. They are symbols of club affiliation, memorials to fallen brothers, or raw expressions of a life lived on the fringes. The whole image is one of rugged individualism, a declaration that they don't play by the same rules as everyone else. It's an aesthetic that screams defiance, a visual pledge to a code that most of us will never fully comprehend. This isn't a costume they put on for the weekend. For these men, it is who they are, every single day. Then there's the sound. It's a deep, guttural roar that you feel in your chest long before you see the source. The machines they ride are almost always American-made, powerful V-twin engines that are as much a part of their identity as the patches on their backs. These aren't just motorcycles. They are extensions of the rider, customized, cherished, and maintained with a devotion that borders on religious. The thunderous noise of a pack of bikes rolling down the highway is an announcement of their arrival, a sonic claim to the road itself. It's a sound that can be thrilling to some and deeply unsettling to others, a rolling symphony of power and freedom. But beyond the leather, the ink, and the chrome, the core of this world is something far less tangible: brotherhood. These clubs are built on a foundation of fierce loyalty, a bond forged in shared experience and unwavering support for one another. For members, the club is family, often a more reliable and present family than the one they were born into. They ride together, celebrate together, and face danger together. This sense of belonging, of having a place where you are unconditionally accepted by your brothers, is the powerful, invisible force that holds this entire subculture together. And it's something that many people spend their whole lives searching for. To understand where these clubs came from, you have to turn the clock back to the years just after World War II. Thousands of young men returned home from the battlefields, forever changed by what they had seen and done. They were heroes, but they were also restless. After years of living on the edge, with the constant adrenaline of combat and the deep camaraderie of their military units, the quiet, predictable life of suburban America felt alien and suffocating. They missed the structure, the excitement, and most of all, the brotherhood. They were looking for a way to recapture that intensity in a world that suddenly seemed very dull. The motorcycle offered an answer. It was loud, it was fast, and it was a little bit dangerous, the perfect machine for men who felt out of place in peacetime. Riding clubs started popping up all over the country, giving these veterans a new mission and a new tribe. They could work on their bikes, ride the open roads, and rediscover that sense of belonging they had lost. At first, most of these were just social groups, guys getting together to blow off steam. But a few clubs started pushing the boundaries, embracing a more rebellious, anti-establishment attitude that set them apart from the mainstream motorcycle enthusiasts. This is where the term one percenter comes into play. The story goes that after a rowdy biker rally in Hollister, California in 1947, the American Motorcyclists Association made a public statement. They supposedly claimed that 99% of motorcycle riders were clean-cut, law-abiding citizens, and it was only a tiny 1% who were troublemakers. Instead of being insulted, the burgeoning outlaw club seized the label as a badge of honor. They proudly declared themselves the one percenters, the outsiders who lived by their own code. The diamond-shaped 1% patch became a powerful symbol of their outlaw identity. This distinction is critical. A regular motorcycle club or an AMA-sanctioned one is a social hobby group. They might organize charity rides, go on weekend trips, and share a passion for riding. An outlaw motorcycle club or a one-percenter club operates on a different plane. It's a structured, hierarchical organization with strict rules, a formal membership process, and an all-encompassing commitment. For them, the club isn't just a hobby, it's a way of life. They see themselves as the true heirs to the freedom of the road, separate from the weekend warriors they call law-abiding riders. When people talk about the most powerful and notorious outlaw motorcycle clubs, they're usually referring to the Big Four. These are the oldest, largest, and most influential one-percenter clubs in the world. First among them are the Hells Angels, founded in California in 1948. Their death head logo is arguably the most recognized club patch on the planet, thanks in no small part to decades of media attention, from Hunter S. Thompson's sensational book to their infamous role as security at the Altamont Free Concert. They have chapters across the globe and a reputation for being highly organized and fiercely protective of their brand. Then there are their historic rivals. The Outlaws Motorcycle Club, which actually predates the Hells Angels, was established near Chicago in 1935. Their logo is a skull with crossed pistons, and their motto, "God forgives, outlaws don't," pretty much sums up their philosophy. They have a stronghold east of the Mississippi River and have been locked in a decades-long, often violent feud with the Hells Angels. The Bandidos, formed in Texas in 1966, are another major player. Their motto is, "We are the people our parents warned us about," and their territory stretches across the American South and has expanded internationally, leading to frequent clashes with the Angels. The fourth member of this infamous group is the Pagans. Founded in Maryland in 1959, the Pagans are known for being one of the most secretive and volatile of the Big Four. Unlike the others, they don't have a global presence, concentrating their power along the east coast of the United States. They have a reputation for extreme violence and deep involvement in the criminal underworld, making them a top priority for law enforcement in the regions they control. Together, these four clubs form the top tier of the outlaw biker world, and their rivalries have shaped the landscape of that world for over half a century. Beyond the Big Four, there are dozens of other significant one-percenter clubs carving out their own territories. The Mongols, a predominantly Latino club formed in Los Angeles, rose to prominence by challenging the Hells Angels in Southern California. The Vagos control turf on the West Coast, while clubs like the Sons of Silence hold sway in the Midwest. Some clubs, like the Black Pistons, even function as official support clubs for larger organizations, in their case, the Outlaws. Each club has its own history, its own rules, and its own set of allies and enemies, creating a complex and ever-shifting web of power across the country. The romantic image of the biker is one of ultimate freedom, a lone rider on an open highway, unbound by society's rules. But the reality of belonging to a one-percenter club is far more complicated. True freedom is often traded for a different kind of structure, the rigid hierarchy and strict codes of the club. Members are expected to show unwavering loyalty, to put the club before their job, their family, and even their own personal safety. This commitment is absolute. Breaking club rules can result in severe punishment, from fines and beatings to being stripped of your patch and cast out, an outcome known as being out in bad standing. This world is also fraught with undeniable danger. The very nature of territorial outlaw clubs means that rivalries are not just common, they are inevitable. Disputes over territory, business, or perceived disrespect can escalate quickly into brutal, violent conflicts. These aren't just barroom brawls. They can be organized strategic attacks involving weapons and resulting in serious injury or death. This constant threat of violence, both from rival clubs and internal disputes, is a heavy price to pay for Brotherhood. Furthermore, being a patched member of a major outlaw club automatically puts you on the radar of local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies. Law enforcement agencies like the FBI and ATF don't view these groups as mere clubs. They classify them as outlaw motorcycle gangs and investigate them as organized criminal enterprises. While many members may just want to ride and belong, some clubs are deeply involved in illegal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion, and weapons running. This criminal element casts a long shadow over the entire subculture, and for law enforcement, any patched member is a potential suspect. The risk of raids, arrests, and long prison sentences is a constant companion for those who choose to wear the 1%er patch. In the end, the appeal of the outlaw biker life is a powerful paradox. It represents a potent cocktail of rebellion, freedom, and fierce loyalty that captures the imagination. It's a rejection of the mundane, a promise of adventure, and a family that will always have your back. But that promise comes with a heavy cost. The path to true belonging is paved with strict codes, dangerous rivalries, and the constant threat of violence or imprisonment. It's a life lived on the very edge, where the roar of the engine can be drowned out by the clang of a prison door. It's not a dirty job, but it's a hard life, and it's certainly not for everyone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and share with others.